And I will now recognize the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Onder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. My colleague from Pennsylvania mentioned the term white nationalism, and I would remind everyone of the context of the 14th Amendment, that the original white nationalists, Southern Democrats, fought a civil war to deny blacks their constitutional rights, to deny their very humanity, and then in the wake of that civil war, sought to deny them of the rights of citizenship as well. And in that context, the 14th Amendment was enacted to make sure that white nationalist Southern Democrats not deny black slaves, former slaves, of their rights, and therefore made it clear they were citizens. But Mr. McCotter, one of the authors of the 14th Amendment, Senator John Bingham, said that the Citizenship Clause conferred citizenship to every human being born within the jurisdiction of the United States, of parents not owing allegiance to any foreign sovereignty. Another author of the 14th Amendment, Senator Lyman Trumbull, stated that subject to the jurisdiction of the United States in the Citizenship Clause meant not owing allegiance to anybody else. Do aliens, and particularly illegal aliens, owe allegiance exclusively to the United States, or do they still bear allegiance to their home country?
They would still bear at least partial allegiance to their home country.
And therefore, in part, foreign ambassadors, diplomats do not have, children of foreign ambassadors and diplomats do not have birthright citizenship.
That's correct. And this came up earlier in some prior questioning about how LPRs, lawful permanent residents, could somehow be included within the Birthright Citizenship Clause. And I think the response to that is that Wong Kim Ark itself recognized that those individuals do have sufficient allegiance, but that's because they're here permanently with the consent of the United States.
Okay, and an example of sort of the absurdity of all-out birthright citizenship. El Chapo's wife, Emma Coronel, traveled to California to give birth and then immediately returned to Mexico. Under Biden's policy, the children of a drug lord were then American citizens who had every right to American bank accounts, and indeed they obtained American bank accounts. Did El Chapo's children, did they own full allegiance to the United States?
They would not, no. Their children would have been at least partially allegiant to their parents' home country.
And so it is that, and I think in your testimony it's very clear that this idea of full allegiance is pivotal here.
It was the widely understood understanding of the jurisdiction clause at the time it was ratified, yes.
Okay.
And if I may just briefly
Yes.
respond to the claim that some of the arguments in this area are inherently racist in some way, I'd point out in Wong Kim Ark, Justice John Harlan, the sole dissenter from Plessy v. Ferguson, the patron of interpreting the Constitution as colorblind, he dissented in Wong Kim Ark and said that Wong had never become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, and likewise, if I recall, it was Filer v. Doe, in which Justice Brennan, in dictum, in a footnote, opined that anyone born physically in the United States be a birthright citizen. Does dictum have the same force of law as a holding in a case?
It doesn't, and also in that footnote, Justice Brennan said that jurisdiction, the phrase jurisdiction, is bounded only, if at all, by principles of sovereignty and allegiance. The exact same things we've already talked about.
Which is what you're arguing today. Okay, thank you.
The gentleman yields. All right, I appreciate that.